Aaron Su took a leisurely sip of tea. Then he continued speaking. I suspect his reasons are twofold. The son of the deceased, Ryan Zhang, stated in his testimony that he was in the study looking at accounts that night. Richard's second consort was awakened by a loud scream, indicating a significant disturbance, yet he, an awake person nearby, did not hear any noise. Does that make sense? Second point. If no trace is left by the thief, who allegedly entered the flower garden can be found, then this so-called thief is very likely non-existent. Based on this inference, the suspicion on the son of the deceased is quite high. Law enforcer Wang asked. So, those footprints on the wall are highly likely intentionally left to confuse us. Aaron Su nodded and said, We can just compare the boots of the deceased son directly to find out. Law enforcer Wang said, Even a fool knows not to leave behind their own footprints. Aaron Su decisively took a rainbow fart. The leader is indeed the best detective in Defying. Law enforcer Wang then went to explain the details of the case to Country Magistrate Zhu. But he took all the credit for solving the case to himself. Country Magistrate Zhu also responded bluntly upon hearing this. Do you think I don't know your level? You do nothing usually. You are very shrewd at taking credit, but inept at doing real work. Law enforcer Wang was so scared that he broke into a cold sweat. He dared not take credit anymore, and directly confessed everything. Aaron Su is the one who solved the case. After a long time, the government office rose the court again. The deceased widow and the deceased son were once again brought up and pressured. Country Magistrate Zhu angrily slammed the table, his voice loud and clear as he said, How did you two kill Richard Zhang? Come clean with the truth. Ryan Zhang cried out for being wronged. Lord, why speak like this? How could I have killed my own father? Country Magistrate Zhu stared at them. Are you trying to play dumb with me? Country Magistrate Zhu cleared his throat and said, At the time of the incident, where were you, Ryan Zhang? I was in the study. Why aren't you in bed with your wife? I am reviewing the accounts. Do you have any witnesses? In the middle of the night, where would witnesses come from? Country Magistrate Zhu continued to ask about Richard's second queen. Country Magistrate Zhu asked you, You have been married to Richard Zhang for 10 years without any offspring. Why do you now have a pregnancy? Did you and your stepson conspire to murder your husband? The second consort of Richard collapsed to the ground and cried out for injustice. My health has not been good. I have been managing it every day in recent years. It was not easy to conceive my husband's child. How could Lord accuse me of murdering my husband based on this? Aaron Su was also speechless as he watched from the side. County Magistrate Zhu, how could you possibly uncover the truth with your way of handling the case? County Magistrate Zhu slammed the table in shock. You said you saw a dark figure escaping over the wall. Then why did the law enforcer search the flower bed under the wall this time? No footprints were found. There were no traces of trampled flowers or grass. Richard's second princess remained silent. Ryan Zhang on the side said, County Magistrate Lord Thief, how did you sneak into the residence? How did my mother know? You county government office cannot find out. You cannot impose blame on my mother, and I... Aaron Su below the hall spit out a mouthful of old blood from 82 after hearing it all. What mother and son? Don't insult these two words, okay? Country Magistrate Zhu also got angry. He picked up the token and was about to punish the two of them. Ryan Zhang is not afraid either. Lord is trying to force a confession, right? Isn't my uncle who works in the Department of Rights and serves as an imperial censor afraid of being impeached? Country Magistrate Zhu's face suddenly fell. What kind of people are imperial censors? They are the officials who claim to be clean and upright. They are like crazed dogs, catching and biting whoever they target. They impeach anyone they dislike by writing reports against them. Country Magistrate Zhu was also angered by this. How dare a peasant threaten the official? Give him 20 strokes as punishment. But he is clever. Even if Ryan Zhang confesses after being beaten, the case is still likely to be overturned by the relatives of the imperial censor. At that time, Country Magistrate Zhu may end up being labeled as extracting a confession by torture. And at this moment, Aaron Su tapped on the shoulder of a thin man behind him. "Help me pass a message to Country Magistrate Zhu." "How did Aaron Su come over here?" "Please help me tell Country Magistrate Zhu to adjourn the court temporarily. I have a good solution." After a long time, Richard's second princess was taken to a separate room and locked up. Just as she was breathing nervously, the door of the room was opened by someone. Aaron Su came in with a teapot. He said not to be nervous. Just casual chat. "You can call me Aaron." Richard's second princess consort seems a little confused. Aaron Su poured her a cup of tea. "Richard Zhang, who is dressed in gold and silver, treats you very well, right?" "Actually, I think so. At your age, not being able to conceive for so many years is mostly Richard Zhang's issue." Richard's second princess looked aggrieved. "It's all my fault. It's my belly's fault for not behaving. It took so many years to conceive." Aaron Su continued. "Does Richard Zhang usually go to the tea house?" "He naturally goes often. Since ancient times, lords and officers have all frequented tea houses. Where would there be someone who doesn't go to a tea house?" Aaron Su is truly helpless with Richard's second princess being so difficult to deal with. Richard Zhang, in his 50s, still frequently goes to tea houses. He must be feeling empty. "I can almost confirm that the child in your belly is not his," Aaron Su said. "I suddenly understand you very well. Richard Zhang is over 50 years old, still hanging out at the tea house and neglecting you. It is understandable for you to have an affair, but it is wrong for you to kill." Richard's second concubine accidentally dropped the teacup from her hand. "I don't know what you are talking about. I have seen that Ryan Zhang, from document file, is a full 7 years younger than you." "What do you mean by that? You don't even mind that he is younger." Richard's second queen pretended to look clueless. Aaron Su continued. "Richard's second queen, you are living alone in an empty room. The loneliness is unbearable. And so, you seduced your stepson into committing a shameless and immoral act. It happened that night. While Richard Zhang was away collecting rent in the countryside, you engaged in an affair with your stepson, who knew that Richard Zhang returned earlier than expected and caught the two of you in the act of your illicit affair. The father and son started fighting. You smashed Richard Zhang to death from behind with a flower vase. In order to cover up the crime, you dragged Richard Zhang's body into the courtyard. It was disguised as a theft and murder by a thief. Ryan Zhang deliberately left footprints on the wall to corroborate your statements." Queen Richard II suddenly slammed the table and stood up. "I didn't do it. I am innocent." Aaron Su looked at her trembling hands. He knew that his guess was mostly correct. "Aren't you curious why I know so clearly?" Richard's second wife was surprised. "Has Ryan Zhang already confessed? This can't be possible." Aaron Su is pressing his advantage. "Do you think your adulterous husband would never admit guilt? You think you've handled it perfectly. In fact, you are full of loopholes. Ryan Zhang only left footprints on the wall, but not inside the house. If the thief has excellent body skills, they will not leave footprints when escaping. Secondly, Richard Zhang died from blunt force, not a sharp weapon. According to the law of Defying, anyone who enters a house at night without reason will be beaten with a stick 80 times, and the homeowner is allowed to kill the intruder on the spot. Which thief who breaks into a house would not bring a weapon? However, Richard Zhang died from being struck by a blunt object. Reason number 3. Why were you all identified as the ones who killed Richard Zhang instead of the thief? It's because you made a mistake. The body of Richard Zhang has his feet facing towards the room, head facing outwards. The fatal wound is in the back of his head. This indicates that the killer approached him from behind and struck him with a blunt object. If a thief sees the owner coming back, they would either stay still or retreat. Would they intentionally attack and kill someone and then leave empty-handed? That's not possible. Richard's second wife tightly held his hand. At this moment, she also completely let go. She never expected it. There are so many loopholes. Aaron Su continued. You have nothing to say, right? Ryan Zhang has nothing to say either. So he sold you out. He also said. It is you who, shamelessly and without integrity, seduced him. He did not want to continue getting involved with you, but you used the child in your belly to threaten him. He said it was also you that night who took advantage of the chaos and killed Richard Zhang. Ryan Zhang knows too many flaws. He is inescapable. He confessed to County Magistrate Master. He was willing to offer 500 tael of silver to smooth things over, letting you take the blame for murdering your husband alone. You probably know best who Ryan Zhang is. Richard's second princess couldn't help but feel a little flustered. Aaron Su sighed in his heart. I don't know who Ryan Zhang is. I just believe. This kind of irrelevant love. Only relationships based on desire can be so unreliable. And Ryan Zhang is a rich kid. Comes from a wealthy family and is young. He has a bright future ahead of him. Why would he sacrifice himself for a woman? Aaron Su continued. County Magistrate Master is known for his integrity and justice. He does not blindly believe Ryan Zhang's one-sided words. I was ordered to come and interrogate you. If you confess, County Magistrate Master promises to spare you from the death penalty. Richard's second queen seemed to see a life-saving straw. She confessed without hesitation. Aaron Su actually deceived her. According to the law of Defying, women who commit adultery or conspire to murder their husbands shall be put to death by dismemberment. The adulterous men shall be beheaded as a public example. It is impossible to escape the death sentence. Ryan Zhang, who saw the testimony of Richard's second queen, was caught off guard. He could no longer argue cunningly and confessed in despair. Country Magistrate Zhu looked at the two testimonies in his hand and loudly cursed, calling it a mess. However, he did not forget to praise Aaron Su. Aaron Su also quickly declined, and at the same time gave a flattering compliment. It's all thanks to Lord's wise teachings. I have been influenced by it, and learned a few tricks. Law Enforcer Wong standing on the side looks a bit confused. This is not right. When this kid first arrived, he had a simple and stubborn personality. He used to just bury his head in work. He was a real fool. How did he suddenly become so sharp at solving cases? What is tea house culture? Today Aaron will give you all a little inside information. Brothel is a traditional business, targeting the common people. Tea house is a higher-tier brothel. The clientele consists of wealthy businessmen and government officials. These two are equivalent to modern nightclubs. Talking about the tea house culture in Defying, it is impossible to avoid mentioning the Imperial Entertainment Bureau. The beauties in the Imperial Entertainment Bureau are all stunning. Another prominent feature is that they are all family members of officers who have committed crimes. Aaron Su helped Wong solve the case. Delighted, Wong wanted to take Aaron Su to a brothel. The colleagues around Aaron Su watched and thought that the chick was about to grow up. Unfortunately, Wong had no intention of treating. They decided to split the bill. Aaron Su immediately lost interest. Furthermore, he suffered a severe injury. Aaron Su will never be able to cultivate chi cultivation in his lifetime. So he put on a serious expression and said, I am not that kind of person. Just that no one paid any attention to him. Wong continued speaking. If Freya, the courtesan from the Imperial Entertainment Bureau, hadn't already been taken that night, something might have happened between us. Aaron Su suddenly became interested. How much silver did it cost that night? Wong held out 3 fingers. 30 tael. Aaron Su snatched the peanuts from his colleague's side. He reached out to Wong and said, Leader, don't just drink all the time. If you eat some food, you wouldn't get so drunk. Aaron Su thought to himself, what a joke. With 30 tael, I could buy several young mistresses. We can do anything at home. I must be out of my mind to go to the Imperial Entertainment Bureau to sleep with a courtesan. Not long after, Aaron Su went home alone. The first thing he did when he got home was to write in his diary. Today is the 18th of October in the year of the metal rat. Second uncle is right. I need to change my way of living. This society is like dog shit. Being too prominent may not be a good thing. In ancient times, many high-ranking officials were ruined. What kind of person can live a fulfilling life? I researched on it. It's the middle class, living more comfortably than ordinary people, yet not involved in high-level struggles. That's the best. Also, today I found one sheen silver at the market. October 19th. The weather is cloudy. I must have money. In this world, more reliable than silver is gold, although merchants have no status. It can be said that with gains comes losses. I am planning to resign in a few days. I will no longer work as a law enforcer at the government office. I only earn 2 taels of silver per month. When can I go to the Imperial Entertainment Bureau to sleep with a courtesan? October 20th. The weather is cloudy. I won't rush to resign first. I'll get the business going before deciding. Today I saw a colleague extorting money from merchants using badges. I don't feel very comfortable about it. But I know this is the norm in society. But I can't change anything. Furthermore, I found 1 sheen silver at the government office today. On October 21st. The weather is clear. Today, law enforcer Wong took me to a brothel to have fun. My impression of the brothel has changed. It is a place to listen to music, watch performances, and sleep. I am extremely disheartened. I still cannot lose my virginity in spirit forging. I picked up a tael silver in the brothel. Am I starting to get lucky recently? October 22nd. Listening to music at the brothel. October 23rd. Listening to music at the brothel. October 24th. Listening to music at the brothel. Wong asked me why I was so happy. Because I enjoy freeloading. October 27th. Listening to music at the brothel. Today I didn't pick up any money, so I had to pay for silver myself. A smoky and murky place. I will never come here again. October 28th. There is gunpowder in this world. There is also flintlock gun soap now. The effect is surprisingly good. In this way, my soap plan cannot be implemented. By the way, I can burn glass. These ancient people must have never seen this before. October 29th. I didn't expect they also have glass here. I need to find another way out. Today I found my second uncle's private money at home. 1 sheen silver. October 30th. Brothel listening to music. October 31st. Today I discovered another money-making plan. That is to improve paper. As long as I can produce better paper, I can make a fortune. Eat the best food. I think. What is the process of making paper? But I found that I don't understand anything. Today I found 1 sheen silver at the market. November 3rd. I spent all my savings these days. Borrowed money from second uncle. Second uncle is a poor guy and has no money. After Nikosu found out, he first expressed his disdain. Then he mocked me. In the end, he gave me 5 tael of silver. Nikosu was not meant to be born in the sky. Doffing is eternal like a long night. I reciprocate in kind. Nikosu blushed and left in a huff. In addition to being a bit sharp-tongued and sundra, my younger cousin is actually not bad. Second son. If we were not sworn brothers, I would appoint you as the female lead. On November 5th, today I went to the tea house with the law enforcers from the government office to slack off. It was the first time I heard Mr. Ping Shu telling a story. I suddenly thought, if I were to write future martial arts novels based on the 4 great classical novels, I could make money lying down. I am quite clever indeed. Today I found another 1 sheen silver coin, so I have money for visiting the brothel tomorrow. November 7th. I am too naive. A novel consists of tens of thousands to millions of words. How could I write it with a brush? Even though I can make charcoal pens. But I can't remember the content of novels. It's been 10 days since Reborn. Still nothing accomplished. I'm about to crack. This man has been reborn for 10 days, but has accomplished nothing. At this moment, he truly realizes the shortcomings of modern education. He clearly knows a little about everything, but is limited to a half-understood state, unable to turn the knowledge he has learned into silver. But what's worse for him now is not this. He has discovered the world he is currently in. Corrupt officials are rampant. Even small abuses of power are praised as good governance. Honest officials are even rarer than virgins in a brothel. November 9th, cloudy. Why hasn't Miss Camila from the Observatory Bureau come to see me? Doesn't she want to learn the legendary alchemist's secret technique? That girl is not less attractive than Miss Lily. She has a cute and delicate oval face. With my superb skills in charming girls, I might be able to win her over. I also want to find love in this indifferent society. She come find me. I don't want to struggle anymore. November 10th. I am still unwilling to accept the failure of the novel plan. So I explained the general plot of Liang Shanbua and Zhu Yingtai to my two younger sisters. They listened. Lily's eyes turned red, but Lila didn't cry. I punched her. She cried. I think this is something she should be able to endure at her age. November 11th. Today, I had a drink with Daniel Lee. We were slightly drunk. He mentioned that the warden of the North's wife, Elizabeth, is the most beautiful woman in the court. I asked him how beautiful she really is, but he couldn't describe it because Daniel Lee also heard it from the county magistrate master. After work in the evening, I quietly asked my second uncle. His expression was very strange. He tried his best to describe Elizabeth's beauty with his limited vocabulary. I extracted the core element. Big boobs. This made me slightly interested and curious about the princess. November 12th, up to now. No progress. I have embarrassed my country. I have embarrassed Reborner. November 13th. This is my first month in this world. Salary has been issued. I plan to work hard. Business matters can come slowly. November 14th. Listening to music at the brothel. In the courtyard, Aaron Su stood under the eaves and casually threw a prismatic hidden weapon. He didn't bother to aim seriously at all. He hit the bullseye of a stake 20 paces away with precision. This is not about how skilled Aaron Su is at throwing hidden weapons. It's just that he got lucky. For a whole month, he picked up a total of 1 or 2 taels of silver, which is equivalent to half a month's salary. This amount of money is enough for an average family of 3 to live frugally for 3 months. But the strangest thing is, every time he only picks up 1 cheen of silver. This cannot be described as luck. No need to ask. Even you in front of the screen know that there is something strange about this. Aaron Su tested, asking, "System Daddy, come out. Stop playing hide and seek with me." The system ignored him. In the past month, he has made numerous attempts, trying to wake up system. The fact is, he was told that there is no system to begin with. I can't believe that someone like me, who has never won a single prize buying lottery tickets with $5 since childhood, could one day pick up money in a brothel. But people with good luck have short lifespans. One thing is certain, the original owner of this body definitely did not have extraordinary luck. If he had good luck, then Aunt wouldn't have despised him. She would have treated him like an ancestor and worshipped him. The whole family no longer strives. They rely on him to make a living by picking up money. This kind of uncertain gifts. It makes people feel uneasy inexplicably. Aaron Su's eyes were deep with concern. He sighed. "We can only take it step by step." The small courtyard where Aaron Su lives. Originally, it was inhabited by an old steward of the Su family, located just a wall away from the main Su family mansion. After the old steward passed away, the courtyard was left unused. Later, the original owner of this body had a falling out with Aunt. He moved here in anger. Today is a holiday. Aaron Su leaped over a 10-foot wall. He went to his second uncle's house for breakfast, mainly to save money. Isn't it more enjoyable to go to the brothel and listen to music with that money? In the hall, the family is happily enjoying breakfast. But suddenly, Aunt saw Aaron Su come in. Her beautiful mood just vanished suddenly. Aaron Su pretended not to see. He looked at his own breakfast. The soldiers in the spirit-forging realm have much bigger appetites than ordinary people. These breakfasts can only fill him up halfway. Aaron Su glanced at Lila Su and greeted her with a friendly smile. "Can you give the big brother a pork bun?" Lila Su immediately opened her arms. She protected the food like a mother hen protecting her chicks. She sternly said no. "Don't be in a hurry. Big brother won't let you lose out." Aaron Su picked up a meat bun and put it on her plate. Pointing at 4 meat buns, he asked, "I'm putting my meat bun here. So, do we all have a share in these 4 meat buns?" Lila Su pecked at her head. Aaron Su continued to tease her. "So, should we divide them equally?" Lila Su ran her own CPU at full power and thought for a while. Then she nodded decisively. Aaron Su's scheme succeeded. He took advantage of the situation and gave you 2 buns. Big brother gave you 2 buns. Then Big brother gave you half a fried dough stick. Did you make a profit? Anne shook her head directly. "How could I have such a stupid daughter like you? It makes me so mad." And at this moment, Nico Su walked over with a jogging pace. Su family's second son, Nico Su, became famous for failing to hang himself and dying a social death. He reached the peak of his life because of a sentence. "Lord, I have no home." Nico Su follows the path of cultivating Confucianist principles. Yunlu Academy was founded by the first apprentice of a Confucianist saint. It has a history of 1200 years. It is a sacred place sought after by scholars around the world. The transcendent status of Yunlu Academy is not only because its founder was a disciple of a Confucianist saint, but more importantly, it is the only existing academy where one can study Confucianism. Nico Su's entrance level belongs to the 9th rank in the Confucianist category. He can improve his memory and enhance his learning ability. However, he still lacks any combat power. In the past few days, he has been fruitless in his seclusion for poetry. Now he has become this soulless and puppet-like figure. He excels in strategy. Poetry is his weakness. Ant feels extremely distressed. Why bother with poetry when everything is fine? Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Don't pay attention to the gossip of others. Aaron Su suddenly asked, "Nico, when will you be able to break through from entrance level to rank 8 nurturing level?" Nico Su shook his head regretfully. He currently has no clue. The head of the academy said he needs to have self-enlightenment. Aaron Su said, "You can refer to the entrance level." How was entrance level cultivated? Nico Su recalled, "Reciting the classic saint texts backwards fluently is the way to achieve entrance level. The former requires a lot of time for memorization, while the latter relies on a certain level of comprehension." Aaron Su was speechless. This point is similar to the spirit forging in the soldier category. Both require long-term tempering and forging of the body and spirit. Aaron Su asked if in nurturing, it also requires tempering the body and spirit. Nico Su considered that at the nurturing level, a Confucianist's fearless heart can convince others with every word and action. I am trying to infer the method of cultivation from the abilities demonstrated at the nurturing level. Are there any successful people? Nico Su fell silent. He was getting a little annoyed with this big brother now. But Aaron Su still had a curious look on his face as he eagerly awaited the answer. Nico Su pretended not to see. He turned to his mother and said, "An elder from the academy has taken an official position in the government. He will embark on a long journey to State Qin. The students of the academy will bid him farewell tomorrow." Speaking of this, Nico Su frowned. "I haven't written the farewell poem yet." Lily Su said softly, "Brother lacks poetic talent." He glared at her displeased. "Your second brother is talented in the field of poetry and literature. It was just that he didn't pay much attention to it before." Zane Su propped his cheek and said, "Just write a few lines casually. I think the poem you recited that day when you left had a strong spirit." Nico Su cleared his throat twice. He awkwardly changed the topic. The senior is a renowned great Confucian scholar who excels in poetry. Those bidding him farewell are all talented students in poetry. In addition to their respect for the elder, they also have the idea of expanding their network. If they can gain the appreciation of that senior, there will be many benefits. Niko-su is proud and lofty in spirit. He always treats friendships with others indifferently. He often mentions the principle of being impartial towards friends. After experiencing this crisis, he finally realized the benefits of expanding his interpersonal relationships. Aaron-su is very pleased as the eldest brother. Zane-su's untimely words. Your grandfather, like you, only knows how to write articles and lacks any talent for poetry. And is not convinced. What do you mean by this? Is it my father's fault? Niko's success in the Imperial Examination graduate was all thanks to Family Lee because he followed me. Look at Lila who followed you. She still hasn't been enlightened. Zane-su was speechless. Aaron-su is not convinced. According to you, are you saying that our Su family genes are dumb? And instinctively replied, if you had the potential to study in the beginning, you wouldn't have ended up practicing martial arts with such crooked handwriting. Aaron-su pondered. Regardless of Ant's bad temper towards Niko-su, he was thinking about taking the initiative to socialize. The identity of that academy elder should be quite high. Niko's contacts are my contacts. My contacts are still my contacts. I have to help him. Soon, he had an idea in mind. He locked on to a poem. Writing poetry, right? Let Ant know this time. Everyone in my Su family is talented. Second uncle is feeling a bit awkward. Aaron, let's not meddle in the matters of scholars. Aaron-su ignored it. He said calmly, 8,000 miles of yellow clouds dim the setting sun. Everyone was shocked. North winds drive wild geese as snowflakes start to run. Niko-su was stunned for a moment. A vivid image suddenly appeared in his mind. Do not worry, the road ahead holds no kindred souls. Across the world, who wouldn't know your lofty goals? Niko-su dropped the chopsticks in his excited hands. He murmured to himself, unable to extricate himself from deep immersion into the artistic conception. Do not worry, the road ahead holds no kindred souls. Across the world, who wouldn't know your lofty goals? Big Brother can actually produce such a masterpiece. I didn't expect that even I, Niko-su, would show off in front of others. Although I borrowed the limelight from my brother. Although I only have half a poem, it seems to be enough. Capital City is located outside the city of Myeongyang Pavilion. A group of students bid farewell to their teacher. In addition to the students, two important people also came. Grandmaster Miles Lee once claimed to be the #1 in the world of chess. 5 years ago, he played 3 rounds with Duke Wei and lost each one. He was so ashamed and angry that he angrily threw the chessboard. Since then, he has never played chess again. Military strategist Simon Jang's early work, The 6 Principles of War Strategy, is still a must-read publication for military officers and generals in Defying to this day. He is the only military strategist in Defying who can be compared to Duke Wei. Gavin Yang, who topped the Imperial Examination, left the officialdom the following year. He returned to Yunlu Academy to pursue scholarship. Today, 22 years later, he has become a world-renowned Great Confucian scholar. He is now heading to State Chin to serve as the mayor. All 3 of them are from Yunlu Academy. Yunlu Academy and Imperial Academy have a history of grievances. Yunlu Academy, founded by Confucian's Saint First Apprentice, claims to be the orthodox Confucianist school. But 200 years ago, they were despised by the emperor of that time due to the fighting over the national religion incident. And at this very moment,